Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here I am in the finals versus Andy on a blue Eons deck. Tough to come up with a matchup that I would think would be much worse for Dredge. We'll see how this goes. But Time Twister is one of the strongest cards in Vintage versus Dredge, as it eliminates the graveyard while refueling your hand, and potentially giving them a garbage hand as well. I mean, there's a pretty selective range of things that really matter, particularly in Vintage, where you can potentially Time Twister away their Bazaar of Baghdad, which is what they are all in on. Here we've got a mana base, so we can potentially cast some cards at least. And Echo of the Aeons, number 1, is starting out looking to hit a Narcomoeba. No such luck, so everything going to get shuffled back in. 7 random cards. And he's going to have first crack at using those cards, however, as it is still his turn. And this deck is more than capable of doing multiple wheel effects or Time Twister effects with that Echo of Aeons. In that Lion's Eye Diamond enables it so well. Emery comes in, and Karn is also just a hellacious card in this matchup, essentially getting infinite Tormod's Crypts, which are probably not beatable as well. Plan B, not going to be fantastic versus this type of Hull Breacher strategy either, as there are a bunch of incidental bodies. Sometimes there are times where you can cast Putrid Imp and some of the other creatures in the deck start turning them sideways. Stinkweed Imp can sometimes stand up well, like versus a Tarmogoyf, for example. There are times where they're just trying to beat you with like a single threat that would trade with the Stinkweed Imp, and that can get awkward. But here we've got a Hull Breacher and Emery creating a dangerous board presence for Andy. The next draw 7 will likely just end it on the spot, as there won't be any cards drawn. Actually, well, there's dredging, so there's that. Depends on what he's got. We'll see. We will see. If there's cards in the graveyard, you can dredge instead. But if you're shuffling your graveyard into your library, that won't do. So I'd imagine they're all going to be Twister effects. Whole lot of cards going into the bin with Breakthrough. One of the nice things about this blue Aeons deck, just the number of lines of attack that it has. Can grind you out with value. Can create just explosive draws with the combo element, and it can also have that little bit of a prison feel, or just like actual prison using Karn with Mycosynth Lattice. So the deck can play a number of different ways. I would argue probably really underrepresented in the meta. And Days Undoing. That is probably just going to do it. Going to be getting 14 treasures. Or 7 treasures, I should say. Might let this go just a little while for the camera, but this is essentially over. And nothing special to do with his hand, so just going to go ahead and move on. Give him the opportunity if he does have some spectacular finish. But, I mean, that game would have just kind of dragged on and resulted in getting beaten down by Hull Breacher for 7 turns in a row. It was totally one way that could have ended. Or let's see if game 2 goes any better. A Lion's Eye Diamond being sacrificed and a Faithless Looting flashed back. Not an ideal opening, but it at least gets the ball rolling. With dredging 11 cards and setting up additional dredges Probably feel a lot better about that type of opening if there was a Dread Return package with some real potential to capitalize and go all in. Emery. Sees nothing too dangerous there. Oh, Lion's Eye Diamond into. There we go. Lion's Eye Diamond. Gonna go ahead and enable and echo the Aeons and completely undo that first turn. So at this point, the deck is 59 cards, lost the Faithless Looting, and just starting right over. However, Andy's got an Emery and a Sai, along with a Urza's Bauble, which creates a Thopter. Each artifact gonna create incremental advantages here. Faithless Looting gets Force of Willed, and that'll do it for the turn. Andy's just in incredibly good shape here. He gets to see a Golgari Thug. He's up a game. See if we can steal a game and force game number 3, but this is not feeling likely. There's a Karn. And pretty much no matter what you get, it's going to be a problem. Lion's Eye Diamond is fetched. Some damage comes in. A little surprised by that. Would have imagined a Tormod's Crypt, but yeah, this build doesn't run Prized Amalgam. There's a lot that this list could do differently. Kind of makes me want to tinker around with Dredge. I really haven't looked at what anybody else is doing. This is a build from early 2020, maybe late 2019. Mycosynth Lattice being cast, and Ancient Grudge takes it down. So floating mana in response to the Lattice, and Ancient Grudge does eliminate it. There's the potential to flashback. So the game continues. And a Emery. Continues to... So let's see. Emery came in. The new one got sacrificed to the Legend rule. And the old one creates advantage. Faithless Looting getting flashback. No dredging, just drawing 2. A couple of dredgers go into the bin. It's got to be getting pretty close to lethal just with all of this accumulation of robots. And now tapped out while Mycosynth Lattice enters, and that should do it. There's no more spells are going to be castable. Mycosynth Lattice also stops like Force of Vigor, even if you have that unmasked, making all those cards colorless. So that is truly a lock. Very little you can do to get out of that in a game of Magic, as Blue Aeons enjoys one of its probably easier matchups there. That is some really, really favorable action for a Time Twister deck versus Dredge. Not bad at all. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.